So I have my drawings of my Kiwi character, starting off with like rough ideations that I would like to include in sort of like my workflow thinking. You see they get really rough and then start to get a lot nicer. And some of my workflow included drawing this many times, and I was drawing in Sharpie and then just took a white piece of paper on top of that, the original drawing, in order to like duplicate this like old school animation style where I'm flipping up the paper, putting it back down. So I have a lot of the same sort of drawings going on, but I want to edit them so we get rid of this like papery background, and sort of just like make the colors pop, make it easier to work with later on. And how I'm going to do that, obviously I'm starting with a crop. I'm going to unlock the layer, Command or Control L to get the levels, grab this rightmost eyedropper tool, and this is going to select whatever white value you determine to be the whitest of whites. So I'm just going to click around probably where I see the like darker spots of the drawing, the darker values of my paper, to get that sort of clean white crisp background. And then just grabbing this middle slider, I'm going to maybe boost the intensity right about there. Yeah, that's good. So from here, a couple things we can do. We can double click this layer, open layer style, and we can give it a transparent background. And for essentially what this is doing is saying if this layer's color is this value of white, 255, 247, whatever, it will blend into the next layer down, or create a transparency. So I want to bring that down just until I start to see a loss of my content. So you see here, I have this like sort of yellowy corner. I want to get rid of that, so I'm going to keep pulling to probably about there, but which would be okay. But I think first what I'm going to do is grab my brush tool with white and get rid of all this yellow. So grabbing my magic wand tool, that's W, I'm going to add the tolerance to about 30, select all of that, grab my brush tool with that white selected, and fill that in. You could also use the gradient tool. Command D to deselect, and then just go in and edit some of these like residual pixels. It's just going to make it blend nicer. And as you saw when we do that layer style blending, what it does is it grabs that white value. So if all your white values of your background match, then it will blend a lot easier. And let's take our tolerance down to 15, so I'm not selecting too much. Let's see. Just cleaning that up. Oops. And that's pretty good. I'm gonna grab a new layer and then like a nice mid-tone, fill it in, put it underneath, maybe like that. Yeah. And again, go back to layer style, pulling that all those whites out without losing too much of my drawing. And I think that should be okay. Now, if I wanted to do any editings to the color, what I could do, let's see. So first, you know, we have that layer effect here. That's indicating that everything at the value of 164 and above should blend. I'm going to take my white brush, and because everything is blending, you're not going to see this do any major effects onto your drawing, right? Because it's being blended. But what I can also do is make a new layer between, and I can add some of those colors back in if I wanted to. And I could do like a dissolve, lower that opacity, and then grab my eraser tool, lower the opacity there. And that way I'm kind of like still getting the essence of my drawing. Even though I lost some of the value in my layer style, if that makes sense. From here, I'm just gonna grab these two, Command E to blend them together, or merge them together, sorry. And now we've lost that layer effect, so I can either save this drawing as this transparent, as a PNG, transparent PNG, so, or I can keep that background. Another thing we can do is add a linear burn, darker color. Let's see. Multiply is good, but I lose some of that intensity. Linear burn is nice. But I could add like a sort of transparency blending effect onto this, especially if like especially if I didn't have this color, it would look a lot better. Let me show you what that will look like. Let's grab this one, okay. And we'll crop. Command L for levels. Increase that contrast. Okay, so we have a linear burn here, and you see my greens got a lot darker. I could also, what's it, the color, range. There we go. Well, actually, I just used the magic wand tool and selected everything. And I can go in, color the, oops, Command Shift I, reverse my selection. And let's just take a big brush, oops. Well, that selection didn't work very well. But I can color in my kiwi black if I need to. Oops. Let's go back to color, or we can also try select subject. Doesn't really do that good of a job. Color range. Adding onto this. I want to make sure all my Kiwi content is selected. Okay, so all these sampled colors of the greens are selected. And I'm just going to go in with my brush tool in black and fill them in. You see some of my kiwis have like an overlay where I drew over it twice, but I'm just going to go in with that black selection, or like where my where the green is selection, and turn it black. Command D for deselect. Go back. Make sure everything is filled in. Deselect, and you see I have a nice black outline to this. One more thing we can do while this is selected, we can go to select, modify, we can expand, smooth. I'm just going to expand this by 1 pixel, and then let's smooth it. And this is going to give us a little bit cleaner. It's going to expand our drawing out and also give us like some cleaner edges around our kiwi drawing, or our drawing. Cool. So that looks like this. And as you can see, like the difference between my Sharpie drawing and then my new digital drawing is much nicer. So I'm going to go ahead and save these. I'm going to edit all these images and go in and save, like go in, edit, save, and then once I have them all done, we'll start building our sprite sheet.